Hey Cancer, welcome to your March 2025 mid-month reading. We're just going to go ahead and get started and jump straight in. I hope you're doing well. I would like to announce really quickly as I'm pulling your cards that I still am running a sale on my personal readings. If you're interested in that, that link will be down below in the description. But let's jump in here. Definitely a lot of energies going on astrologically, and you did pull the Wheel of Fortune here in your challenge. So you could be definitely feeling stuck. Almost in a way, you may be feeling as well that you've been on this streak of bad luck here. And I think a lot of things are changing at this time. Even if we look at the astrology, we're right now in the middle of an eclipse, which will be on the 14th of March in Virgo, total lunar eclipse. So talk about like a big, potent eclipse. And eclipses always bring change. Faded change, and then we can very much feel out of control of our destinies at the time, because eclipses do tend to redirect us back, help correct us and help us get back on track and in sync with what our destiny is and where we're supposed to be going. But it could feel very much while you're in the middle of an eclipse that everything is out of your hands and you can feel very uncertain. Things are changing. And the only thing you can really do is surrender. And I think that kind of is the lesson here with this eclipse. And I like your reading here because you do have the temperance here in the outcome. So there is this harmony coming back into the mix. You being able to enjoy your life, being able to enjoy the things around you here, and just things feel like they're more synergized, they're more connected, and they're not all fragmented and dispersed everywhere. And I think right now I'm going to pull your oracle cards and then we'll jump into your reading. But astrologically right now, there's a lot of energy going on in Pisces. We have the sun that's in Pisces until the 20th. It'll come into Aries, which I think once that sun comes into Aries, we'll get more certainty. We'll feel more self-determined and we'll have a more direct vision for ourselves. But right now with it being in Pisces, with that North Node, about to conjunct that North Node with Neptune, Neptune dissolves all boundaries, and it could feel very much as if nothing makes sense, and it can feel very uncertain. And so, if you're feeling uncertain, that's all the Pisces energy that we have right now. So the best thing to do with all the Pisces energy is to surrender. Yes, take care of the things that you can control, but the things that you can't control, don't fucking stress about it. It'll work itself out. Pisces and Neptune being there, the North Node, everything's pretty much on God's timing at this time, or the universe's timing, whatever you want to call it. And it's like we have to surrender our ego's control and trust the current of where we're being pulled to next. And that can be the hardest thing to do. But it's interesting because you are in a really good position here in your life at this time. You may not feel like it, or you may be wondering whether or not you're going to be moving in a good direction or things will go well. I think they will. I think you've become wise over the years and through your experience. There's not really much I see here, Cancer, that you can't handle. I think you've been through some things. You pulled this Jupiter card. It says abundance here. Yeah, and I pick up you could be experiencing more positivity here. Jupiter is a planet that does deal with positivity, growth, expansion, of course, abundance. But it's positivity, and also Jupiter has a lot to deal with role models, guides, mentors, teachers, parents. And I've been getting this energy for Cancers a lot lately. A lot of Cancers that watch me are parents or their mentors or their guides, teachers. Very much that Jupiter energy here. And you even have the Hermit here in the future position, which we'll jump more into detail in your reading here in a moment. But that's also connected to that archetype of the guru, of the guide, of the teacher, the mentor, the one who's wise, the one who's been through some things and has the wisdom here. And I think everything that you've been through is about to really come into handy here moving forward. So let's see here. Yeah, one thing I see expanding here for you, Cancer, is actually your authority. Whatever field you're in, or whatever you're really good at, whatever your expertise is, whatever it is that you just have the wisdom with, your authority expanding. And what I mean by that is people are paying attention. And I think you're able to capitalize on opportunities here more as well. Yeah, you pulled this It's Time to Take Action card. It's a new moon in Aries. And it's interesting because we will have that new moon partial solar eclipse in Aries, which will be on the 29th of March, toward the end of the month. And so we're all really gearing up for that solar eclipse. We're getting, we're in the middle of this lunar eclipse, letting go of the old, letting go of the ideal way in which we thought things were going to work out, and having to really realign our souls to a higher path, to a higher destiny at this time, and let all the things that are dissolving out of our life, let them dissolve. But stepping into this solar eclipse, I think for you it's going to be a big deal. It's going to be in your 10th house, Cancer. So talk about authority, talk about work, career, status, ambitions, success, new beginnings, all in that area here. New starts or new cycles. Let's see. You pull this water card. It says lifeblood here. Yeah. And it doesn't surprise me that this water card's coming out. Like I said, we have a lot of Pisces energy right now. Sun, Saturn, Neptune, the North Node being activated because the sun's there. And all the other planets are there too. And it's a water sign. And so right now, I think we're all in a period, specifically you, Cancer, of introspection and reflection and going inward, deepening your connection to the divine, deepening the connection to your soul. And all the external things, the material things, there's not so much of a focus on that. It's like the more you actually do focus on it, it's like the more confusing I feel like it gets for you. But the more you start to really go inward and shift your vibration or to realign yourself, and then it's like almost like everything else falls into place here. Let's see here. You pulled the King of Wands here in the position of this is your overall energy here. Yeah, I like your overall energy for the rest of the month. This is the temperament I see you embodying, which is being confident, being reassured, being in your authority, even though there may be uncertainties and you don't really know the direction of change, is taking you. I think you're very much ready for whatever the universe kind of throws your way here. And not that it's throwing anything bad your way. It's just, I think you're in a good position here. And I think you're really learning how to take command here, how to take control over situations. You may have been very passive in the past, or maybe you were too idle in the past, but I'm seeing you become more active here and feeling more active here, like becoming more hands-on with things here. You pulled the Page of Cups here in your current energy at this time. I feel like something's persuading you here, Cancer. Something's persuading you. I would just be aware of all the Neptune, Pisces energy, not to, get lost, not to get manipulated or get lied to or something like that. Because, the shadow side of all the Pisces, Neptune energy that we're having with that North Node could be this deception and manipulation. So I would just be aware of that. But I think with the Page of Cups being in your current energy at this time, it's almost like something here is persuading you, though, like in the higher form, like something is persuading you. It could be like some type of newer ideal here that you're feeling inspired to start creating in your life. And I think you're really just allowing yourself to just go with the flow, go with what your intuition is telling you. That's what you're being called to do with the Page of Cups, is to just go with what is inspiring you, like what is pulling you intuitively. And don't worry about all the little details yet. Because the Wheel of Fortune being in the challenge, it's interesting because the Wheel of Fortune can literally represent like the transits and divine timing. But also the Wheel of Fortune too can be to where we're trying to control maybe too much, right? The wheel's trying to take us in a new direction, but it's like we're not allowing ourselves to surrender to where the wheel is trying to take us. And I think that's why you pulled the High Priestess as your advice. It's like to listen. The High Priestess is about being passive and surrendering and being receptive to change rather than being overly active to change. Like being receptive and being aware of what's changing and not trying to control the things that are outside of your control. So the High Priestess as your advice is saying to seek information. The High Priestess is connected to Pisces, and Pisces does deal with deep research. It deals with diving more deep into things, going to the depths of things. That's why Pisces deals with like enlightenment and spirituality, because it's going deep into things, right? And submerging yourself into things. And I think that's really your advice, is to look within and listen to your own intuition, follow your own guidance here, but to really dive deep into things here that you are curious about or wanting to learn or wanting to explore. And if you don't know, this is definitely the time to just be open and receptive to whatever the universe is showing you here. Because you do have the Hermit here in the future, which, yes, you could say the Hermit is about enlightenment and finding those deep answers. I do see that here, but it's interesting. It's almost in a way I'm seeing coming up here toward the end of March, you stepping into being, even more into being a guide or a mentor or a teacher or someone who's just like leading the way by example here, like setting the tone. because I think you have a lot of wisdom and a lot of knowledge here, and I think you're very wise, and so it's like you're providing guidance for the world. And you could be even receiving guidance here as well from a hermit type of figure who is wise in helping you unlock certain things here. You have the temperance here in the outcome position. I like this temperance being here in the outcome. Again, it's like there's a rebalancing, restructuring here. And now things are coming back into moderation. So if you've been dealing with extreme change, the temperance talks about things coming back into moderation and things being more balanced. And there being a lot more harmony here. So we'll see what that temperance is here. Also a lot of healing I pick up here as well. Specifically, it could be related to like your self-esteem. You have this Queen of Pentacles in the position of something you're unaware of that you need to be aware of here. Yeah, one thing I would be aware of here is that to stay grounded, being in all this, being in the middle of an eclipse and then this Pisces energy and then Neptune here at the last degree until it comes into Aries at the end of the month, it can feel very sensitive. It can feel very sensitive. You can feel very ungrounded. You could be, just kind of lost in your mind and lost in all these different things, and you can just lose touch of reality. So I think that Queen of Pentacles is saying make sure that you're just grounding your energy and you're staying grounded here. All right, let's clarify your read here, Cancer. Clarify the King of Wands here for the overall energy. Clarify the King of Wands. King of Swords. Yeah, I see you very focused, determined, unwavering here, unstoppable. King of Wands, King of Swords, very focused, trailblazing your own path, stepping into your authority here. Your confidence here. Clarify the Page of Cups here in your current energy. But I think your temperament overall is like very focused, very expressive, very direct, very self-determined. Clarify the Page of Cups. You pull the Five of Wands here. Yeah, and I wouldn't fight fire with fire at this time. This is like the best time to have forgiveness and love, because Pisces energy is about healing and Neptune is about healing as well. But it first takes, having compassion. And if people don't understand you, if you're dealing with Five of Wands energy where there's conflict, the best thing you can do is the Page of Cups, which is like have love, have compassion, and not get caught up into drama or get caught up into, just petty things. I think also too, not to get triggered. Like you could be triggering people here, Cancer. So I think the best thing you can do is just have grace for them, as long as you're not doing anything wrong, right? It's like, but I would just be aware though, not to fight fire with fire here. Clarify the Wheel of Fortune in your challenge. You have the Eight of Wands here. Yeah, you don't really know where the direction of things is really going. It's hard for you to really be confident about like how things are going to turn out or what the future is going to be. And so, because I feel like you don't have like all the information, or you're just not 100% certain yet. And that's why the High Priestess as your advice is saying, well, just take the time to meditate, reflect, listen to your intuition, go with the flow here. Give me one more on this Page of Cups. You pulled the Ten of Wands here. Yeah, it's the journey here. I mean, this is you trying to get to the finish line of something, or you just trying to, when it comes to sticking to things and following through with things, the High Priestess Page of Cups says go with the flow. If there's resistance, go take the path of least resistance. If you're constantly getting resistance, and sometimes that may just look like surrendering. Right, and then waiting for the next subtle sign from your intuition or from God to point you in the right direction. Because you're definitely in the midst of change, and the best thing I think you can do at this time is to just surrender, listen to your intuition, observe, take in, and let things take form and shape rather than forcing things. Clarify the Hermit in the future. You have the Nine of Cups, and then you pull the Three of Swords here as well. One thing I see here that you could be definitely healing from any type of Three of Swords energy, whether it's a breakup, disconnection, fallouts in relationships here. That Nine of Cups, the Hermit too, is like you could be getting this guidance and this and this and receiving this healing, or you're giving that healing, right? You're showing up as the person that helps whoever is going through the Three of Swords, right? Because you're a guide, you're a mentor, you help guide people, you help bring deeper revelations or reveal deeper revelations for people here. But I see you being very satisfied with the Nine of Cups. So things look good here. Clarify the Temperance. You have the Magician here. Yeah. This is in the outcome position. So I like, you're going to be finding it way more easier to manifest things and to create things. And I feel like it's at the end of the month when Neptune comes into Aries, and then we already have that solar eclipse that happens, which is really just setting us off in a new direction. Even though we have Venus and Mercury retrograde, there's still things that we're figuring out. But overall, it's like our awareness is becoming aware of like these new things that are finally happening. So I like here that it's almost as if you're going to be able to really create from a totally new place. Like the energy is going to feel fresh and new, and it's almost going to feel effortless here. I'm not saying it's always going to be effortless, but for the most part, it's way better than what it was. Clarify the Queen of Pentacles. You have the Ace of Swords here. This is in the position of something you're unaware of that you need to be aware of here. Yeah, I would stay grounded and with inside yourself, and also your truth. Like as long as you're in alignment with your truth and you're being honest and you're having integrity with what your intentions are, I feel like everything will be fine. But the moment you stray away from that, I feel like that's when problems start to happen. So I would just remain grounded in what your truth is, and remain grounded just overall in general, and not become unglued here about anything. Also, one thing I think you're unaware of that you need to be aware of is, I think you're about to get clarity here around a particular work issue or money issue or something like that. And I feel like it's a good thing. So that's what I got for you, Cancer, in your reading. I definitely do see your challenge here, your struggle. Definitely you're trying to figure out, where the arrows of fate are taking you at this time, and what direction, are you totally going. And I think the best thing you can do is that High Priestess is just to relax, observe, listen to your intuition, allow things to unfold rather than forcing things. Don't sit totally idle, but just like listen to your intuition. If you're getting too much resistance, I feel Spirit saying here, just relax and then allow for the next subtle sign of awareness to point you in the next direction. So I think everything's going to be fine here. All right, so that's what I got for you, Cancer, in your reading. I appreciate you for watching. Again, if you want to book a personal reading with me, that link is down below in the description. Any question you have, if you need guidance, confirmation, I'm definitely here for you. If you like the video, be sure to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe if you haven't yet. Otherwise, in that, Cancer, I will see you later.